Hey everybody, it's me Samantha here today with another video. I wanted to kind of start doing some autumn makeup because it is now cooler weather here in New England. We had 84 degrees weather 2 days ago and it's now 67 degrees. So might as well start transitioning my makeup as well. If you are new to my channel, my name is Samantha and I do videos on beauty and makeup. And if you like videos like that, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you can come back to see more videos with me. So I've had the Sigma Untamed palette now for about a month and I played with it about once and it's really nice, and I was planning on using that today because it really is kind of the perfect fall palette, as you can see here. And I've kind of dipped into these colors. If you looked at one of my previous window shopping videos, you'd see that the colors that mainly intrigued me in this palette were those 4 shades, and they are quite beautiful. I think I may do a look with those. Actually, I've used this twice. I also used this kind of quad right here, but we're gonna go into these today because I think it kind of will go well with my oatmeal color shirt. All right, I turned down my ring light a bit because I wanted to be a little bit more natural looking on camera and show my true color. So as you can tell, a lot of my fade that a lot of my tan that I've had this summer is already starting to fade. So I'm kind of in between foundation shades, but today I am going to use my Rare Beauty. I feel like this is going to be a perfect match for me in the coming weeks as my skin decides to transition back to without tan. So we're gonna get started with one of my favorite primers, and it's the Touch and Soul Glassy Pretty Filter Glassy primer. It looks like a moisturizer and I absolutely love this stuff. I'm sure it has a little bit of dimethicone, but for the most part it just feels like a really great moisturizer and it smells really nice. This is probably one of the few things that I've received in BoxyCharm in the past year that I was like, oh, this is really quite good. They do have good products. I just feel like there's a lot of things that I was getting. There's like clouds going by and stuff, so we're just gonna roll with it. But you get a lot of things from BoxyCharm that just don't wow you, or they're just not your preference. So this is a win that I got from them. And then I wanted to use this Illuminizer, liquid luminizer from Rare Beauty as well again, and I've used this once in a video and then once off camera, and I really prefer the underneath foundation way, so that's what I'm going to do today because I feel like you can go a little heavier and it really shows through on the foundation and it looks more natural as opposed to on top. And I notice I always go down in a video because my mirror is right here, but I did get a little handy dandy handheld one so that I can be a little bit more upright for you guys. I'm going to zoom in a little closer. Hello, how are you today? So the last few weeks have been kind of crazy makeup wise. There's been about 5 trillion releases, and then home wise I'm just preparing to remote learn for all 3 of my kids. I mean, my oldest one is really independent and very mature for her age, so I'm not that concerned about that. But I've been like really stressed out for my 5 and 6 year olds because, I mean, let's be real, they're 5 and 6. I'm just gonna clip my hair. And I purchased my Rare Beauty in 320 Warm, which again, I felt like it was kind of light the first time I used it, and it is probably a little light now, but as we're transitioning, it might be better and better. Yeah, so it's been super crazy for just rearranging furniture, making sure all the computers and everything works for the kids so that they can do what they need to do, meeting with teachers on Zoom. So it's been really, really busy. And then also figuring out my work situation. I work in healthcare in an office, and you know, hospitals are one of the oldest kind of professional places, and so they're not, although they're really high tech and have their eye out on the future as far as like medicine goes, the process of like paperwork and billing and booking things is kind of still like old school, where, you know, the admins are chilling with their doctors and they talk about each thing individually, which is really good. But you know, we're still using like old school faxes sometimes, and it's not super convenient for me to be working from home for the hospital. So I've been in the hospital working for the last few months, and but I'm really, really grateful that my employer has helped me make some arrangements so that I can kind of do some of my stuff from home and help my husband who is working remotely. I'm just gonna go in with my e.l.f. sponge. I was gonna call it a beauty blender, but whatever, and just make sure everything is really pressed into the skin. It's still early, so I have my morning voice. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like that looks a lot better. I didn't want to go in initially with the sponge because I don't want it to soak everything up, but it's just nice to kind of like pull it out. And I think if you compare this video with my last one when I first reviewed it, you can see that my tan has kind of faded and that it is slowly starting to match me a little bit better, which I'm excited about. So I'm going to color correct with my L'Oreal True Match, and just under the eyes. The concealer is really beautiful, but it just doesn't do enough for the dark circles that I have personally, so I still need to color correct. There are a few concealers that I don't have to do a color corrector, but they're not really many, and even if I don't, when I do, it just looks a little bit more flawless, so it's not a big deal. I just like to know that about a product, so I'm not going through my day and then realize I look like a zombie. So now we're gonna go into the concealer, and I also got that in 320W. Since my video, you know, I've used this, and this thing, you really can build it up. Like it melts so well into the skin that you can just do layers and layers and it doesn't get too cakey. So that's nice to know, because it is very thin. It just smooths out really nicely. See, it looks so pretty. I feel like this is a product that the more I use it, the more I enjoy it. There goes the light again. It's still slightly dark here. I don't think I put enough corrector. So I've been fooling around with powders lately. I recently purchased the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade medium, and lately my favorites have been the Jouer Hydrate and Set, and this is the shade tan, which I've been using a lot lately. But then I also have the shade medium, and because I'm losing some of my tan color, I think I'm going to go on with the medium. But I just wanted to show you the difference. This does not seem like a medium to me unless you are a very light medium. I wish I kind of knew that when I saw them, because, and you can see this medium is a little warmer, When I was purchasing this, I did consider the tan, but it looked a little too cool tone. And I didn't want to, like, or neutrally, and I felt like it would make my under eye really ashy. I mean, I like the consistency of this palette. I mean, this powder, but I don't know that this is going to work for me unless it's like February and I'm like all of a sudden turned into a ghost. I don't know. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people rant and rave about this, even people with my complexion, but I don't know. I wonder if it's because they haven't really tried this to compare it with. But I feel like this is better. Not just the formula is great, and then also the shade, but also preferences, right? So I don't like to be overly highlighted underneath my eye. So that might be it as well. Some people really like a strong under eye highlight, and I'm not one of those people. So, and the sun is out again. All right, so we're gonna go in with medium and the Jouer Hydrate and Set. And I feel like, see, that looks so pretty and like natural. I just feel like when I go in with that Charlotte Tilbury, it's just so brightening. So far, I'm really happy with how my complexion looks. And we're gonna go into bronzer. I really wanted to take out my Hourglass Unlocked palette because Hourglass just released for their holiday a bigger palette like this with different shades, but then they also had like a mini, and it had 4 shades from here. This one here, the bronzer, this blush, and then this under eye powder, which I'm obsessed with this palette. I've had it for quite a while now, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. I can definitely use this under my eye, even though it's really light, because it's such a like thin formula, and it gives a really beautiful luminosity under the eye. I'm not gonna use that today, but I wanted to try to use the bronzer. Usually I use this in the winter time, and it does show up quite well on me, but I'm not really sure because I am still a little tan. But I really want to pull this out and use it because of the new one. I was tempted to buy it, and then when I was reading the shades, I'm like, I have all of these, so let's not go there. So we're gonna try to see if the bronzer will show up today. We're definitely gonna use this blush, and we'll add a little of that highlight. So I'm gonna go in with my Farrah 50F brush into the bronzer. I'm just gonna use this mirror. It's kind of showing up. It has such a pretty sheen to it. This is the side with the window, so it looks a little bit brighter, but that's just because of the window, and the sun has been in and out all day long. Oh, that's so pretty. I went a little heavy with the bronzer, but I think it looks really, really pretty. So now we're gonna go in with the blush, and just for reference, that bronzer, they don't have it in a single, which makes me very sad. It's the Golden Bronze Light, and what I like about this bronzer, it doesn't have that ambient light powder in it, which I know is like a huge thing for them, and it, you know, a lot of their products have that in there, but I feel like I have one blush that's like that, and it just made it look chalky on my complexion, and these don't really have it. And so this one right here, the blush is, I think it's Mood Flush, and they have one that's called Mood Exposure with the ambient light in it, but the mini palette that just came out does have both of these in it, which I would love to see more of. I would love to see more of. a very natural, beautiful tone on me. I'm obsessed. So there we go with the blush. And I am going to use a little bit of that strobe highlight. It is the Metallic Strobe Powder Champagne Strobe Light. This one right here. It's so pretty. And you can kind of see the highlight I have underneath from Flaunt. So I'm not going to go, you know, too heavy on this. Very, very beautiful. Put a little bit here. A little bit here. All right, so now for some fun, we're gonna dig into this Sigma palette and have a good time. I wanna first off say that this brush that comes in the palette is really, really good. I've never used a Sigma brush before, and I really thoroughly enjoy this. Before we get into the eyeshadow, I'm gonna go in with this Sigma eye primer base in the shade Ignite. I've used this a few times. It works well. I still think like my Milani might work a little bit better. But you know, I'm just testing it out and seeing how it is overall. So I don't have my final thoughts yet. I do have to say though, I really enjoy having it in a stick form for applying it, and then I can just rub it out with my finger. For a little while I was using a brush to blend in my primer, and it was super convenient, but I found like even my best primers weren't lasting. So I think it's easy to over blend with the brush. So I've kind of gone back to blending it with my finger. Okay, so going into the eyeshadow, we're gonna go into Boho, which is this beautiful mustard shade. I'm actually gonna use the mirror in the palette, and I hope you guys can see. Maybe I'll get a little bit closer. Maybe you guys can see me there. And I'm gonna go, sorry, right here just above my crease where like my brow bone is. For people with more round eyes, you're gonna go right in your crease. So yeah, so we've been really setting up a lot in the house and trying to make sure everybody's good and ready for remote learning. My oldest and I spent some time the other day setting up her Google Calendar for her school schedule and all her links for her meets with her teachers, so we can start off the year right. They start school on Tuesday. We're just gonna roll with it and see what comes about. It's been quite the experience of, you know, changing, you know, the way we do everything for the kids, and who they can spend time with, and but also making sure that they're still, sorry about that, that they're still like being social with friends, because my fear is like someone feeling depressed and sad because they feel isolated during this time. So it's been a lot of just kind of figuring things out, trying to figure out like a balance. I'm gonna turn this way for you. I'm sorry, I'm using Camouflage, which is like a army green shade in here. I got sidetracked with chatting about school. Alright, we're gonna go and do the other side now. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting school year. My son is going to be 7. He's in the 1st grade, and my littlest one is 5, and she's going to be doing kindergarten. And then my oldest is 11, and she's going to be doing 6th grade, and she's the one I'm least worried about, but it's going to be quite interesting keeping a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old in their seats all day. But I mean, like, what else are we going to do? I don't want them to fall so far behind, so that when they do have the ability to physically go to school, like, you know, I don't want them to be missing out on anything. So we're just gonna really try to do what we can and try our best, like every other parent right now. We're gonna go in with this olive green shade here. It's called Envy, and it's really more of like a dirty antique gold shade, and we're gonna put that on the entire lid. I did, by the way, add a little black in the corner, and I don't think I mentioned it because I was too busy chatting about other stuff. Yeah, so I'm curious. We have like a cube system in the living room where we set up all of the kids. I'm like not doing a good job today. Where we set up all of the kids like school supplies and all their books and just like all kinds of things, you know, Play-Doh and everything like that. And we gave them each like a shelf for their reading books, a shelf for their workbooks and stuff like that, to kind of keep things organized. But we have no clue how's it going to pan out. I would be interested in hearing what some of your other moms are doing. We're going to go in the shade Hustle, which is like a beigey gold, and we're going to put that over the center. I'm taking the same color under the eye as well. I'm going to take this flat Alamar brush, there it is, and go into the olive color camouflage and just stamp that in my outer lash line, just like halfway. Alright, and I'm going to use this little fluffy Luxie brush and go into Boho, the mustard color, and then try to sweep that pretty close. Alright, so I'm going to do my brows, and I always do my lashes last, and I usually forget, and then I have to do them in the car. So we're going to try not to forget to put on mascara, but we're going to do our brows, and I'm using my NYX, I always forget the name, Precision Brow. I want to say Precise Brow, but it's Precision Brow. Alright, that is the brow with the pencil. And then I'm going to take the spoolie side and brush it all out to get a more natural fluffy effect. And then I'm going to go in with my M's Cosmetics cream brow in, I think I use Espresso, yep. And yeah, I just love the way that looks. And you can see the before and the after. My brow looks so much better. My eyes look so much more awake. And we're going to do the other brow and then we'll come back with mascara. Alright, so that is with the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. And for lips today, I'm going to use my Colourpop BFF 3 as a lip liner, and then I'm going to use my Juvia's Place shade Lady, and it creates like the perfect fall lip. Yeah, so this is the final look. I think it looks really autumn vibes going on. If you like this look, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you can come back and see more with me. It would really mean a lot to me. And until next time, love you guys. Bye.